could score against them. You know, those moments where we got punished, and that's the extra quality of player you're up against. But the pleasing thing on the night, you know, continually we looked like we could score against them, and we got 3. Probably could have had more.
5 consecutive wins now. Hell of a run, but I'd imagine we'd be glad if we just have a week off before the Norwich game, not a week off, but just a time to recuperate and just assess what you've done over the past month or so.
Yeah, definitely. I think the one key point tonight is that for both teams to produce a game like that after the Christmas period is enormous credit, because these played on Tuesday, we've had an extra game over the Christmas period, and to go extra time for both teams, I think enormous credit, and there's a lot of honesty on display out there tonight.
And finally for me, ball number 7 on Monday night. Home tie, or do you fancy an away tie now?
Yeah, no, I'd stick with the home side, because I just feel that this place, you know, is just very special, and you know, home side for me.
Phil Parkinson there, Wrexham manager, former Sunderland manager, after their victory over Nottingham Forest last night. So they're through to the 4th round. So too Wigan of League One, who knocked out Preston of the Championship. Oxford won at MK Dons on penalties, and Port Vale beat Fleetwood. 9 games, as I say, at 3 o'clock, including one from here, Newcastle United against Bournemouth in an hour and 3/4 time. We will find out the team news between now and then, but I am joined for a couple of minutes by our commentary team this afternoon, Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson. Good afternoon to you both.
Hi, Colin.
Hey, Colin.
Sunderland didn't make many changes in the end, not as many as we expected to. Newcastle, Ando first of all, Eddie Howe hasn't necessarily got the capacity to play a second string team, even if he wanted to.
No, there's players there that need game time though. You know, the likes of Jacob Ramsey, Willock needs to get game time into Kieran Trippier. I think Trippier will play. I think Livramento will play at left back. I think Ramsey and Willock will play. I think Ramsdale will probably play in goal as well. So I think you make 6, 7 changes.
Yeah.
Look, the game the other night as well, Colin, took an awful lot out of them. You know, it was a high intensity game. You know, 100 and odd minutes it went for as well. So with the games that we've got coming up, he's got to be looking to rotate and give players some game time.
Just watching other players come in, Colin, all the big names are here. Bruno's just arrived, Voltemada, Wissa, Joelinton, Barnes, Gordon, Trippier that you mentioned. Sean Neves here, Sam Alavi from the academy, so there could be some youngsters involved in the squad. We might see them at some point. If it goes well, who knows? But he can make some changes, but he probably can't give too many the afternoon off entirely.
Yeah, and the other side of the question about who he gives minutes to is who, Razor, you think needs most protected, or most needs protected by not being picked today?
I'm interested in centre forward rotation again, and will Voltemada start once more, or will Wissa come in? Because Tuesday is massive against Manchester City. They have to think about this one and try to get through, but that is looming. The first leg of the League Cup semi-final. Bruno, for me, he's been central to everything they've done this season. Loads of goals, big moments. Maybe he could do with a breather today.
I think young Miley needs taken out as well.
And that
not because of his
protection, physical protection. It's not. Because he's probably in the team at the moment on performances,
without a doubt. But you know, just give him a little bit of a breather, because he's been excellent. You know, not only has he done a job at midfield, but he's been excellent at right back, and we seen the other night that he can do a job at centre back as well. So, but I'd be tempted to rest him as well. So, but look, we'll see. But there is squad players that definitely need some game time.
Yeah, and just finally for you both, do you think the Carabao Cup success over the last couple of years, obviously winning it more than reaching the final, means that fans actually do care more about the FA Cup than they used to as well, because they're kind of joined together as cup success and they've had that feeling and they want it again?
It's a funny one, isn't it? Because it's something that we spoke about. Where does the FA Cup rate in? You know, you would say that he's always maintained that the Premier League and getting back in the Champions League is the number one priority. You're 2 games away from another cup final in the League Cup. You're a couple of games away from going to the next stage of the Champions League. So you would say that the FA Cup is probably the least of his priorities at this moment in time, because of where you are in every other competition. You know, you still need to win 5-6 games to get to an FA Cup final. You only need to win 2. Well, you don't even need to win 2. You only need to win 1 to get to another League Cup final.
Yeah.
Don't need to win either. You could draw them and
Yeah,
win
well,
on penalties.
exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
Right. As well, yeah.
Exactly. Thank you to you both for the moment then. Newcastle United against Bournemouth, a 3 o'clock kickoff here at St James's Park this afternoon. Live commentary coming once the Sunderland match has finished. I'll tell you about non-league in a minute, albeit there isn't an awful lot to tell you about in the end. But we will head now to Kingston Park. Newcastle Red Bulls in the European Challenge Cup at home to Perpignan, going for a second win in a row and a third win in this competition at a noisy Kingston Park. It kicked off about 15 minutes ago, and Dean Gray can bring us the latest.